Summer's definitely flying, and I'm behind getting information to you about all of our operational metrics for May and June, so essentially the whole summer so far. Over the next few minutes, we'll talk about our performance in May and June with hopes information about July will come to you a little bit more timely. For the 21 of you that watched the recording of my April update on YouTube, thank you. I hate to admit I probably accounted for at least 3 of the 21 just to make sure that it was working. To encourage viewership, I've included a trivia question at the end of the narration and hope to see this update's viewership numbers totally skyrocket. If you email me with the correct answer, your name will get entered into a drawing for an Overlook Cafe gift card. Those who read the narration are also eligible. Put ED Metrics Update May and June Trivia in the subject line and send me a message by Monday, August 6th. As with previous months, I wanted to continue to include our 2018 ED annual plan, so here's a reminder of our overall goals for 2018. Please take a minute to refamiliarize yourself with them. So on to visit volume. Visit volume for May was just shy of our budget target, but was 114 visits higher than May of 2017. Unfortunately, June visit volume was behind budget by about 240 visits. However, we were just slightly below last year's volume for the month. So through June year to date, we're just about even with our 2017 patient visit volume, but we are behind budget by about 250 visits. In May, we saw 3 more patients per day on average compared to May of last year. Our mental health patient volume continues to be strong, with an 11% increase in visit volume compared to last year. The admission rate in May was 24.2%, which is equal to our expected admission rate in general, but almost 1% higher than admission rate in May of 2017. June's daily visit average was 342 visits, which was 1 less than our average in May and also 1 less patient per day than June of 2017. Our mental health volume again was strong in June compared to last year, and the admission rate was almost 2% higher than last year. As you would expect, with a higher admission rate for May and June compared to 2017, our percentage of ESI 1 and 2 patients is higher than our year-to-date 2017 volume was. We're also seeing a little higher volume of ESI 4 and 5 patients, with a related decrease in ESI 3 patients overall. Although May TTA volume was lower compared to 2017 by 9 visits, June definitely was a record-setting month for TTAs at 106 total. The increase of 33 TTAs over last year was concentrated in the adult population. And in terms of highest volume TTA months for record keeping, the next closest was 96 TTAs in July of 2013. We unfortunately saw a decrease in June in the percentage of discharged patients whose length of stay was less than 4 hours, after holding steady at 70% in May. All pods saw a decrease in June in this percentage. Pod E had the largest change, going from 62% in May to 55% in June, and the majority of that decrease were in our ESI 3 patient population. That's no surprise given the high volume of TTAs in the month and how work tends to be a little bit harder to progress when you have that many TTAs arriving. Pod A had a 3% drop from 57% to 54%, and Pod D also experienced a 2% change from 86% to 84%. You will start to see some information about QuickTrack and D improvement work that's slated to begin August 1st, which we're hopeful will improve our performance in this measure into the future. Thank you for your help as we've worked to operationalize the additional rooms that have been opened up in Pod C since April. The most updated information regarding the number of patients seen per day in this care area is shown on the slide, which is consistent with the preliminary information I shared in my April update. We are consistently seeing 4 more patients per day in Pod C compared to the first half of this year, and 5 more compared to 2017. Rochelle will be providing a wrap-up of the Pod C room expansion project in the August edition of Go Red, but I'll also share the current operational expectations in case they're still unclear to folks. Number 1, 8 rooms will be available for patients and will be opened in a staged process until noon, where by noon 8 rooms should be available and filled with patients. The option to flex to 9 rooms must come following a conversation with the provider and the triage charge nurse or the department charge nurse. Number 2, mental health patients will not be preferentially roomed to Pod C going forward due to the increased demands that places on our ERT team. We would expect, because the room number expectation has been set at 8, that will help the problems and concerns that we were seeing with providers having several or too many or a lot of high acuity rooms going at the same time. So please know we're also exploring alternative provider staffing models in this area, but we don't anticipate any changes will be implemented before the end of the year. And for my favorite slide again, fireworks continue to be in order for our performance and left without being seen. For the 5th month in a row, we've been below our 2.5% target. So please keep up the excellent work. It's really been a bundle of several factors that I think are contributing to this great performance. One of which is the implementation of the triage charge nurse in a more consistent fashion, and also implementation of our ED waiting room liaison, Patty Drinkwine, and her work on the busiest days of the week with patient arrivals. So all of those, in addition to probably several other factors, are really pointing towards great work in this area. So kudos to everyone for their concentration and for this great outcome so far this year. So the gist for May and June, patient volume was less than budgeted, but about even with 2017. Our acuity has shifted into higher ESI 1s and 2s and 4s and 5s with lower ESI 3 patient volume compared to last year. We took a dip in June with a percentage of patients who are discharged who leave and are out of the department within 4 hours, which is primarily driven by patients who were treated in Pod E. And our left without being seen rate year-to-date is 2.4%, with both May and June left without being seen below our 2.5% target. So that wraps up our metrics review for May and June. The trivia question for those of you who have continued to listen or read the narration: which month of the year do we average the highest number of TTAs? Remember to put ED Metrics Update May and June trivia in the subject line and send me an email by Monday, August 6th to be entered into the drawing for an Overlook Cafe gift card. I hope your summer is going well, and I will be back again in August to provide information about our performance in July. Thanks, take care.